The soft glow of dawn spills over the horizon, painting the fields in hues of gold. A cool breeze carries the scent of wet earth as the village stirs to life. Amna opens her eyes before the first call to prayer, her body already attuned to the rhythm of her daily life. She pulls her chador over her head and moves quietly, careful not to wake her children. The wooden door creaks as she steps outside, where the morning mist lingers over the fields like a thin veil. The sound of water splashing fills the air as she washes her face at the hand pump. The cold rush jolts her senses awake. In the distance, the faint echoes of other women preparing for the day blend with the crowing of roosters. The village isn't silent, even at this hour. It breathes with the whispers of dawn, the rustling of leaves, and the occasional bark of a stray dog wandering the narrow pathways. Inside, she lights the chulha, feeding dry twigs into its hungry flames. The warmth spreads across her hands as she places a pan over the fire, rolling out dough with practiced ease. The smell of fresh parathas fills the small space, mingling with the sharp aroma of chai brewing in an old metal kettle. She moves swiftly, years of repetition turning every motion into a second nature. The children stir from their slumber, the youngest rubbing sleep from her eyes as she watches her mother work. Amna's husband steps in, wrapping a shawl around his shoulders. He takes his place near the wooden table as she serves him, her hands never resting. The quiet exchanges between them hold the weight of familiarity. No grand gestures, no unnecessary words, just the unspoken understanding built over years of shared responsibilities. As the sun inches higher, the village hums with life. Women gather at the communal well, their laughter breaking the stillness as they fill clay pots with fresh water. Amna joins them, balancing the heavy pot on her hip. The chatter flows effortlessly, stories of the night's dreams blending with discussions of the day's tasks. Here, among them, she finds a moment of ease, a brief pause before the weight of duty calls her back. The morning is relentless. There's flour to knead, clothes to wash, and fields to tend. Amna moves with purpose, her footsteps light on the dusty path leading to her home. She catches sight of her eldest daughter, sweeping the courtyard with long, deliberate strokes. A pang of something unspoken settles in her chest, a silent wish for something more, something beyond these routines. Before she can linger on the thought, a voice calls from the entrance. A visitor has arrived, an unexpected guest from a neighboring village. Amna wipes her hands on her dupatta, her mind already shifting to the next task. The day has only just begun. The village awakens with an energy unlike any other day. There's excitement in the air, a restless buzz carried through the narrow pathways. Today is a festival, a day when routine gives way to celebration. Amna steps outside to find the street alive with movement. Women sweeping doorsteps, children chasing each other with colored kites, men setting up a large cooking pot over an open fire. The usual weight of work lingers in the background, but for once, it does not dominate the day. She ties her dupatta tightly as she walks toward the communal courtyard, where a group of women are already gathered. Some are kneading dough, their bangles clinking with each movement, while others are preparing sweets, rolling dough into perfect circles before dropping them into bubbling oil. The scent of sugar and cardamom fills the air, mixing with the earthy aroma of the morning breeze. Laughter spills into the open, a rare sound that lingers longer than usual. Nearby, young girls are practicing a folk dance, their feet tapping against the ground in rhythm. Noor stands among them, hesitant but eager, her eyes bright with anticipation. Amna watches as an elder woman corrects her posture, guiding her hands into the graceful movements passed down for generations. For a moment, Amna is pulled back to her own youth, to a time when she too was carefree, before responsibilities took hold. As the sun climbs, the village transforms into a scene of pure joy. The men hoist colorful kites into the sky, their shouts of victory echoing as strings cross and snap midair. Children run through the fields, their laughter blending with the music playing from a nearby radio. Even the elders, who usually sit in quiet observation, are engaged in spirited conversation, their faces lit with nostalgia. At the heart of it all is the food. Plates of hot pakoras, fresh roti, and steaming bowls of lentils are passed around. Women serve with pride, their hands moving quickly to ensure no one leaves hungry. Amna moves through the crowd, greeting familiar faces, exchanging smiles and stories. For the first time in months, she allows herself to relax, to simply exist in this moment without the constant pull of obligation. As the day stretches on, the festival reaches its peak. The courtyard is filled with song, voices rising in unison, carrying old verses that speak of love, loss, and resilience. Noor joins in, her voice uncertain at first, but growing stronger with each word. Amna listens, something deep within her stirring at the sound. As dusk settles, the celebration begins to wind down. The sky is painted in shades of orange and pink, the last kites fluttering against the fading light. Amna sits with a group of women, exhaustion settling in, but the warmth of the day still lingers. Across from her, Noor is deep in conversation with an older girl who left the village to study. There's a spark in Noor's eyes, the same one Amna once had. The night air cools, and the village begins to quiet. Amna walks home, her feet slow, her heart full. Tomorrow, life will return to normal, the fields, the kitchen, the endless responsibilities. But tonight, there is something different, something unspoken. A seed of change, small but growing, planted in the midst of celebration.